I'm going to tell you about the worst night of my life. The night I babysat for the Hendersons. The night that ended with police surrounding a house, two terrified children clinging to me in the yard, and me learning that sometimes the monsters we fear are very, very real. This happened 3 years ago when I was a junior in college. I was 21, studying psychology at State University. Like most college students, I was broke. Constantly. My scholarship covered tuition, but rent, food, books. I needed money. So I babysat. I'd been doing it since high school, and I was good at it. Kids liked me. Parents trusted me. The pay was decent, especially for the wealthy families in Riverside Estates, the gated community about 20 minutes from campus. That's where the Hendersons lived. I'd babysat for them a few times before. Mr. Henderson was some kind of executive at a tech company. Mrs. Henderson didn't work. She was always perfectly dressed, perfectly polite, perfect house, perfect kids. They had two children, James, who was 7, and Jessica, who was 5. Both of them were adorable. James had dark hair and was obsessed with dinosaurs. Jessica had these big brown eyes and carried a stuffed rabbit everywhere. They were well-behaved, sweet kids, easy to watch. The Hendersons paid well, $50 an hour. For a weekend, that could be serious money. Thursday afternoon, Mrs. Henderson called me. "Hi, this is Margaret Henderson. Are you available this weekend?" I checked my calendar. One exam on Friday morning, but otherwise clear. "Yes, I am." "Wonderful. David and I have a business conference in Chicago. We'll be leaving Friday afternoon and returning Sunday evening. Would you be available to stay with James and Jessica?" A whole weekend. I did the math. 50 an hour, call it 30 hours, $1,500. "Absolutely," I said, trying not to sound too eager. "Perfect. We'll have the guest room ready for you. You're welcome to use anything in the house. Kitchen, TV, pool if the weather's nice. The kids love you, so this should be easy." Easy. That's what she said. Friday afternoon, I drove to the Hendersons' house. Riverside Estates was the kind of neighborhood where every lawn was perfect. Every house looked like it belonged in a magazine. The Hendersons lived at the end of a cul-de-sac. Their house was massive. 3 stories, stone facade, enormous windows. The driveway alone was bigger than my apartment. Mrs. Henderson answered the door. Behind her, I could see James and Jessica peeking around the corner. Come in, come in. Kids, say hello." James ran up and hugged my legs. Jessica followed, clutching her rabbit. "We're so glad you're here," Mrs. Henderson said, leading me inside. "Let me show you around." The house was beautiful. Marble floors, high ceilings, art on the walls. The kitchen was something out of a home design show. The living room had a TV that took up half the wall. "Your room is upstairs, second door on the left. The kids' rooms are down the hall. James is in the blue room, Jessica in the pink one. You've been here before, so you know where everything is." She handed me a credit card. "For food, activities, whatever you need. Our numbers are on the fridge. We'll be back Sunday around 6. Mr. Henderson came down the stairs with 2 suitcases. He nodded at me. "Thanks for doing this. The kids will be fine. They always are with you." They said goodbye to James and Jessica, who barely seemed to care. They were already pulling me toward the playroom. And just like that, I was alone with 2 kids in a house the size of a small hotel. Friday night was completely normal. We played in the backyard for a while. The Hendersons had a play set that looked like it cost more than my car. James showed me how high he could swing. Jessica made me push her on the tire swing. Around 6, we went inside. I let them pick what they wanted for dinner. "Pizza!" James shouted. "Can we get the one with the cheese in the crust?" Jessica asked. I pulled out Mrs. Henderson's credit card and ordered pizza. Extra cheese crust, because why not? While we waited, we played video games. Some kid-friendly racing game where Jessica kept driving into walls and giggling. James was surprisingly good for a 7-year-old. The pizza arrived. We ate in the living room, which I'm sure Mrs. Henderson wouldn't have allowed, but she wasn't there. We watched a Pixar movie. Jessica fell asleep halfway through, her head on my shoulder. After the movie, I carried Jessica upstairs. Her room was pink. Very, very pink. Walls, bedding, curtains. She didn't wake up when I tucked her in. James wanted to stay up later. "Just one more game?" he asked. "Okay, one more, then bed." We played another round of the racing game. He beat me 3 times in a row. At 9, I took him up to his room. Blue walls, dinosaur posters, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. "Good night, James." "Good night," he said, already half asleep. I went back downstairs, cleaned up the pizza boxes, and settled into the guest room. Easy money, I thought. I fell asleep watching Netflix on my phone. Saturday morning, I woke up to James jumping on my bed. "Wake up! Wake up! Can we have pancakes?" I checked my phone. 7:30 a.m. Too early, but kids don't care. "Sure, pancakes." Jessica wandered in a few minutes later, dragging her rabbit. We went downstairs.